everyone, it's Jean from the Inky Owl Studio. Today's video is going to be a little different than what I usually do. I was invited by Mandy and Justine from a Facebook group called Junk Journal Ideas and Inspiration. I'll put that title down below. And they are doing a month-long collaboration of different YouTube hosts and junk journal creators. And I was honored to be one of them. I'm so thankful for that. I do consider it a privilege to be part of this collaboration. There's so many wonderfully talented people that are a part of this. I'm going to put down below a whole list of every day of the month of May. There's going to be a new person, and it's this hashtag, May You Be Inspired By. It's a beautiful idea, and it's targeted to beginners, to people who are just new to the junk journal creating process. So we are asked to tell a little bit about how we got started into junk journaling, and if we have any kind of tips or suggestions that might be helpful, or things we wish we knew when we first started out. So a little bit of background is, I'm sure, a familiar story with yourself and with all the hosts here, and that is I've always loved to make things. I can remember as a little girl going into the library and looking for the craft books and making things. I've just always been attracted to that. So all my life I've dibbled and dabbled in just about every craft you could think of. But how I led into junk journaling was I, several years ago, got into card making, and I enjoyed that. And then I went into scrapbooking and did that when my daughter was at home. And I moved from there into making mini albums, little mini photo albums, which was a lot of fun. And while I was doing that, I was getting most of my tutorials off of YouTube. And of course, YouTube does suggest other things, and that was junk journals. So it was like a match made in heaven, because I look at junk journals as an art that I can bring in all the skills and all the loves of all the other crafts I've done over the years into junk journals. I can use cloth, I can use lace, I can do some beading, I can do some slow stitching, I can use beautiful paper. It just like pulled it all together for me. And so I ended up loving the process of making the journal just as much as the end journal. And being a journaler myself, I do find that being able to write in a beautiful journal like that is very inspiring. It kind of elevates whatever you put in there. You know, you could put something really humdrum, but if there's beautiful paper and collage all around it, it just makes it look wonderful. So I really enjoy using them, and I enjoy making them. So it has really been a good marriage for me. Now, some suggestions for you when you, as a beginner, as a person still, or even if you're not a beginner, you might find this rather helpful. I think in the very beginning, when I came to creating junk journals, what I was bringing with me was this idea of precision, and following a recipe and a formula, and making my creation look like the creator, or look like the sample that was there. Like when you make a quilt, you need to cut their squares and triangles in exact little pieces and sew them together. Card making's the same way. Scrapbooking can be that way. Mini album making definitely is that way. So I was really used to doing crafts from that perspective. But when I came into junk journaling, it took me a while to realize that this is really more of an art, more of a fluid, spontaneous art than it is an exactly set formula and recipe to follow. And I think that I spent a little bit too much time in agonizing over that. What I was creating was not looking like what the tutorial looked like. You know, I just couldn't get it to look that way. And I spent more time frustrated with that, rather than kind of allowing the process to tell me what needed to go down next. So I would recommend that you hold loosely an idea of what you want to make, but as you go through it, be willing to change course, be willing to go in a different direction, and don't try to be too conforming with what you're creating, because you're never going to be able to replicate what another creator did exactly. None of us really can, because we have different supplies, different interests, different likes and dislikes. So Um, what you make is going to be your own and your own creation. And so look for lots of inspiration. You might want to look to tutorials to know how to assemble the physical item. But when it comes to the embellishing and when it comes to the creating, loosen up a little bit, kind of let it breathe. And the second suggestion is sort of like that. And what it deals with is those times when you have less than your expectations. When you make something that either you may hate it and may say, oh, this is terrible, what did I do? Or you may just not like it. There's something about it you don't want. What I would suggest to do, that when you come across something that you really do not care for, don't throw it away immediately. Give yourself 5 minutes to be upset and kind of mourn the loss that you didn't achieve what you thought you wanted to do, and put it away. Put it away in a drawer, in a box, somewhere that you don't see it, where it's out of the way. And then mark in your calendar, and don't forget to do that, because if you're like me, you'll never find it again. But mark on your calendar where you stored it, and pick a date 3 to 4 weeks out when you're going to take it out and look at it again. You need a little bit of space, because we are all our worst critic. We sometimes are overcritical on what we've done. And when we give ourselves that space, it kind of helps tone that down a little bit. And so I think you'll find at least 3 things when you do that, or this is what I find when I do it. And first of all, usually it's not as bad as I thought. You might even think, oh, this is a lot prettier than what I thought it was. But usually the criticalness kind of like tones down a little bit, and you can be a little bit more reasonable when you look at it again. And the second thing that I try to do is I try to identify 1 or 2 things that I can point to concretely and say, I don't like this. Now don't make a list of 20, because that'll be really defeating. But 1 or 2 things. It could be something like, I don't like these colors. I don't like the way these colors, I put them together. It could be, I don't like the graphics. They don't seem to really match one another. I don't like this style. I thought I liked Tim Holtz, but maybe I don't like it. I don't like the theme. Choose something that you can really concretely say that you don't like about what you've done. It could be a process. Maybe you use the jelly plate and it's like, oh, this is awful. But whatever it is, take it in and learn from that a little bit. And you'll be learning about your style. You'll be learning about your tastes. You will be learning about places you need to improve. Like, you don't like the colors you chose. Well, maybe if I did a few YouTubes on people who talked about color combinations. Maybe if I experiment with more color combinations, different ones, maybe I can help myself, improve in that area. So it's an opportunity to learn when you make a less than type of project. The third thing you might want to consider doing is think, can I rescue this? Can I put something on there or add something to it to make it better? You can always add lace, because that elevates everything, right? But if you can't, if there's just no way to salvage what this is so that you are happy with it, because we don't want to settle for less, we want to really be happy with it, then try to think, is there something in this project I can salvage? Maybe a part of it, you really like it. Maybe there's a little bit of a collage in the corner that you can make a tag out of, or a journaling card. Maybe there's a special pocket in there you can save. And either you can take it out and maybe save it as a prototype to do down the future because you really liked it. Maybe you made something to go into the journal that you really like it. Whatever it is that you like about the project, try to see how you can save it and reuse it. So I think this process has helped me feel less like I've wasted my time, because anytime that we meet a challenge, it's always an opportunity to learn from, and so we can move to the future with it. And we're all going to do it. I mean, I've done it. All the hosts here have done it, I'm sure, and you're going to do it too. So don't worry, it's all right. Just give yourself a little grace and a little distance, and I think it'll be a great opportunity for you to learn more about what your style is, about what you like and dislike. So I hope that was helpful to you. I'm so happy you came and joined me, and I really do hope that we can connect again in the future. Again, down below is a list of all the presenters for the whole month of May. There's one every day. And at the end of the month, you're going to have a big wealth of information that we all wish we had before we got started in this. And you are starting in a very good time in the junk journaling community, because there is such a vast variety of talented people, and they're all very giving of their time, and it's just a wonderful community, and you have a lot at your fingertips. And so I hope you will take this, and you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.